Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Change Your Lives. Hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. And the subject matter is covering a topic that I think a lot of people are going to be going through within the next couple of months, especially with, we're in the midst of graduation. I see everybody super excited going to the prom. They're going, getting ready. Different. Last night we had a baccalaureate speech with my son. And there's awesome things going on year end. The kids come to a combination of their high school. But what we're going to be discussing is your child ready for life after graduation? Y'all give me that one. So let me put it damn annihilating in my mouth the wrong damn time.
You told me you were ready, brother. You said I'm ready. Yeah.
I'm ready now.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, y'all excuse me. But yeah, again, we're discussing parents. Is your child ready? The mic's on?
Yeah.
The mic's on? Okay.
You good.
Just sounding smooth. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I done adjust some things. You good.
Hey, my bad, lab. Yeah, we're discussing parents. Is your child ready for life after graduation? Because as the father of 4 sons, and this is my third son finna get ready to graduate later on this month, I've been down this road before. I know a lot of parents have and a lot of parents have not. And just having conversation with people a lot of times, like, hey man, what are they planning on doing? And I hear a lot of people saying the same thing. That's they don't know yet. We're trying to figure it out. And the reason why I want to have this conversation is because I want to share what I know, my experience, to be transparent with you guys. Because sometimes, I know the thought. I understand not knowing what you're going to do, but I don't think a lot of people understand. You still need to be thinking about something because you can't decide a month from now you want to go to college. Because they no longer accept the application.
Oh, okay.
And now you may not be able to go to school till next January.
Right.
Or some of the options that you think you may have that are options, the availability may at certain points of time just won't be there.
Okay.
And what I always kind of look at, just being straight up with you, because I remember with my oldest son, Torian, went to school, and a lot of his teammates, he had a football scholarship. A lot of his teammates were like, coach, coach football 20 years. Coach, I'll wait till, next year, January, go to school. And I really don't think a lot of times people think that's a lot of stuff can happen from the end of the graduation point to 6-7 months later, just being at home with nothing happen. You can get a job, get comfortable, you can get somebody pregnant or get pregnant.
Right.
You can get some kind of, anything can happen. Just with doing it. So I'm not trying to wish bad on anybody, but I just want to have that discussion because I don't think a lot of time parents think about that. They don't think about it. So again, we're discussing parents, is your child ready for life after graduation? Again, I'm Deonte Burden. Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Changing Lives YouTube channel, where we have, I think, over 600 videos talking about personal development, professional development, parenting, family. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm all damn off today. Am I missing something, lab? It was something I wanted to bring up with it. But again, right now, if you are streaming, we do have a call-in. So if you do want to add to the conversation, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. I always be forgetting about doing this, lab.
Putting the number down there?
Yeah. Putting it on the Instagram.
So, parents, are your kids ready for life after graduation? That's a good question. A lot of parents think that their child is ready. They think that they have prepared their child. What about that? Parents who believe that they have prepared their child for life after graduation.
Well, what it is, I think a lot of times people think their child is ready. But I think what's happening is now you kind of like in this, I call it like a little juicy spot. A couple weeks out from graduation, now it start hitting you.
Right.
Because I just know even with Torrin and PJ, Chris even too, you start wondering about all the stuff you haven't done. And to be totally honest with you, depending on what kind of movements you're making, if your child going into going to college or whatever way they're heading, have you properly prepared for them to do that? I think the vast damn majority of parents don't know what the hell they don't do.
You think so?
Of course I know so. I mean, it's cool. You see, I know they have a lot, and I think that's pretty cool. They have the announcements, the announcement things where kind of like they announce what the scholarship thing what the athletes used to do. People do the reveals and let them know what school they're going to, college they're attending. And I think that's real cool with doing it. But vast majority, I think people don't know. And we just know that for the most kids don't go to college anyway.
Right.
So I mean, just mathematically, we already know that. So, but that's why I want to have these conversations and like share with people in regards to what I've been through and have that open discussion. But I do want you guys to call in if you got anything to add to the conversation in regards to have your child, if your child is ready or not, how you feel about it, what you think you might need to work on, what you have some reservations, some fears about. Call in. Let's talk about it. Again, the number is 678-740-9894. But to that point, I don't think it's nothing uncommon for parents to kind of feel unprepared, ready for life after graduation. I just think that, especially your first one.
Okay.
Especially your first one. I'm going to share tell a story about when my oldest son, but T's 29, he had got a football scholarship. And what I did was I went all out to help him get the football scholarship from elementary all through high school, going to the camps and all this other kind of stuff. Because my whole thing was I knew we didn't have any money to pay for tuition.
Okay.
So, like I said again, this is my first kid going through that. Went to all the camps and all that kind of stuff. He got awarded. He started getting the scholarship offers in coming in his junior year.
Okay.
And he committed to Vanderbilt March of his junior year. So we went into his senior year. We already knew where we were going, tuition paid and everything like that. And from that point, what we were focusing on was being prepared as possible. Because he was a good kid, smart, good student. But what we were preparing for was him to go as prepared as possible to be able to go and compete once he got to Vanderbilt.
Okay.
And I think I did a good job. He was ready, to go there and play as a freshman and everything. But what he wasn't prepared for, and what I didn't think about, was be a student at Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Now again, we talking about a kid with a 3.5 GPA, over 1,000 SAT, so it wasn't smart. But when you talk about the Vanderbilt was damn near Ivy League school, a top 10 university in the United States. So you're talking about those kids compete to get in that school just like any kid, like any other SEC school to play football.
Right.
And he wasn't ready for that. And not even just the rigors of the academics, but just he wasn't fully prepared, just life on his own. I didn't shelter him, but just certain things I hadn't prepared him for. Now,
the freedom.
Yeah, the freedom, because, one thing about college, the good thing, you got a lot of time. The bad part, you got a lot of time. And see, what time management was something that I really didn't stress with him enough. Because, again, my focus was to get him in school and get him prepared. And what I did was I spent so much damn time, just for getting him training and stuff, not necessarily knowing how to handle all the time you got. Because the funky part about it, think about it, you might got a class on Tuesday. So your mind, like, shit, I got enough time to do this, but I got a whole week to get it done. But in actuality, you got 2 or 3 football practices, you got weight room practices, film study, game, pregame, and all this other kind of stuff in addition. So you probably got, maybe for that one class you took on Tuesday, you probably got maybe an hour, 2 hours the rest of the week to the next class to get it, because you still got all the other commitments and other classes, right? So you don't have the time with that. And he wasn't ready for that.
Okay.
He had probably a 2-year really walking on thin ice, academic probations, all that kind of stuff. Because again, like I said, I'm just being straight up what we started talking about. Well, are your kids ready for school? And by the middle of his junior year, that's when he kind of got it.
Okay.
That's when he kind of got it, like, okay, cool with that and everything. But that was a big thing with me. Like, I was just thinking about because I focus so much, and I'm a big, and what I always give people advice on is what I live by. When I want to do something, be successful in something, I look at the people that are there, get advice from them. So I got a lot of good advice on how to get there. but I didn't seek out advice on what to do when we got there. If that makes sense.
How to stay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that was very challenging.
Okay.
And it was glaring to me, just because a lot of time people reaction, man, what you doing in class? What you doing there? But I could see like, no, he ain't ready.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some stuff just.
You just
really,
know.
Yeah, he from the not the academic, the life part. Like he wasn't ready for that. Like, and I didn't do a good job. Now hindsight, the best sight, so I can just be straight up. I didn't do a good job of preparing him for college life.
Okay.
Not necessarily because the school's gonna be challenging academically. So that I knew he was gonna get a hold of that.
Right.
But the time management. Prepare, wasn't making no bad, regular stupid kid stuff, not like that, but just more so time management, being in college and all that kind of stuff. That was he wasn't ready for that.
Okay.
So that was something that I put in my wheelhouse, going in, as far as PJ, because it was a 5-6 year gap, I think, between those two. And so that was just something I always kind of made sure, like, okay, when the next time I go through that, be prepared.
So you saying you prepared for getting in there and getting the scholarship and all that, as far as collegiate stuff, and preparing them for college per se as far as class is concerned, but just the lifestyle aspect of college was a different thing that you didn't think about.
I didn't really prepare him for classes. He was always a smart kid.
Right.
So with doing it, so if I could go back, probably maybe did more of some advanced tutoring to kind of for the school he was going to. I was fully focused on getting him prepared to play ball at the collegiate level because he was always a good student.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
that wasn't something you really had to worry about.
There you go.
Much. Okay.
There you go. So in my mind, the transition gonna be easy. The thing was get you prepared to play football. What's going on? See Trey Nicole. What's going on, lady? Appreciate you tuning in.
How your mama?
Oh, hey, Mom, what's going on? What we got here? Mark Williams. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, guys, listen, like I said, this is Change Your Lives. Hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. We're discussing parents. Is your child ready for life after graduation? You're going through the whole discussion. I'm going to share some stories in regards to what I've been through with my children. Also give you guys some advice based off things that I did right, things that I did wrong, and kind of give you some tips accordingly with that. But feel free, guys, to call in. The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. Feel free to call in and add to the conversation. If you have anything to say, well, make sure I got the right number on the damn Instagram. But yeah, man, like I said, with him, it was I wasn't really worried about that because I want to say I took it maybe being naive. I mean, me already being educated, like, okay, cool, he a decent student, he got good work
habits on that side,
and from a time management standpoint, he did pretty good balancing academics and sports in school. Because he competed at a high level in football and track. He was state champion sprinter.
Okay.
National ranked sprinter. So, I mean, he did that. But you also had, hey, man, did your ass do this, do that? Now, again, I wasn't always. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, it wasn't so much of I stayed over his shoulder and did stuff, but I always reinforced.
Right.
Whereas when your child leave, they ain't got, did you do this, that, and that? The good part about it was you going into a structured program like a football program as opposed to just being a regular student. So I knew, I got the calls early. Hey, man, he missed class. We're going to make him run the stadium and do all that kind of stuff. So they had things to make positive reinforcement when he had hiccups. Most parents not going to have that. Most parents not going to have that.
That's
so
true.
That's one of the biggest things. So, what I always try to get with parents, because, a lot of times you talk to people, and you say, man, how your kid doing at school? Oh, man, this MF done went to school. They ain't want to get up out the bed. They ain't want to do this. They ain't want to do that and all that kind of stuff. And you're just talking to them like, okay, well, just being straight up. Like, were they that kind of kid at home? Well, I just had to get them out the bed, this, that, and that. Well, why the hell you send them away?
Right.
To be real.
Why you keep them close?
I'm going to be honest with you. Torian and PJ, first and second son, I was always cussing and getting them out of bed.
Right.
I mean, school bus, my mailbox, the bus stop,
right.
honking and all that. Man, get your out of the house.
Right.
They always like that. Now, my two younger boys, Chris and William, 5:30, 6:30, up and out. don't say nothing. I still, bye, Dad. I'm still in bed. They gone. Never had a problem. Those were my two younger boys. I say all that to say I was very conscious of that with both of them. I understood that, like, now, because I heard so many people, they had children older than mine. That was one of the biggest things, harping. I knew they were going into structured program. I kind of share that even with PJ in a sec, but that was one thing I knew Torrin was going into a position where those habits were going to get, corrected.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that was, especially with playing football. So one of the coaches called AD, man. I know I told you, I was going to follow up with you. He said we had a little issue. He missed practice or meeting or whatever. We woke him up by 4 in the morning, do stadium for about a week, to kind of get you out of it. So, that's probably, but again, most students are not going to have that. So that's one of the biggest things. So, again, I know most parents, there's nothing uncommon to not necessarily know. Because you do have the kids that, and Chris, mentoring group with the 100. Yeah. Big shout out 100 Black Men South Metro. We had our annual gala this past weekend. Man, awesome turnout, man.
I see y'all was looking sharp.
Yeah, man. You had to see your boy suited and booted.
You're right.
Appreciate that. But, and I'm sitting here listening to the gamut. It's maybe about 2 or 3 of them guys that in there with Christopher. They got multi-million dollars in scholarship offers. Right. There's one kid, he hadn't decided he's between USC, Morehouse, and I think Penn State. Right. We ain't thinking shit like that.
Okay.
And he has the money allocated, all this other kind of stuff. We're not thinking like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you have that kind of kid coming in, you're like, okay, cool. And that's kind of how I was with Torrance football. Okay. I knew I had to pay. I'm not in that kind of shit with Chris.
Okay.
I got everything situated. Big shout out to my baby Chris going to Clayton State.
No. Right.
But we ain't sitting on it.
Okay.
That's why I'm sitting there. I want to have this conversation with parents. Because again, the actual, I don't know if the thought process be right, because a lot of times you hear these conversations like, hey man, well they don't know what they're gonna do. We're gonna try to figure it out. Shit, a lot of these options ain't gonna be, can I figure it out and then you gonna do it tomorrow.
Ain't gonna be no options later.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the deadline, even if a school has, just keep putting perspective. Just say a college is still accepting applications into June. What's the issue gonna be with them accepting applications in June? The schools are closed.
Right.
The high schools are closed.
Right.
So all these documents that you need to request, where the hell you gonna get them from?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's why a lot of times, especially if a parent has been or has not been to college, you've been on forgot so damn long. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, again, like, you have to be proactive with a lot of stuff. And you ain't thinking about it like, hell, we're trying to figure out this, that, and that. And I get it. But I am loud.
Right.
Shit. I ain't with no grown folks staying in my house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you gotta get the hell on when And again, and then when I say that, I get a lot of rolled eyebrows and everything. It's like, well, y'all trying to put your kids out. I don't think I put my kids out. Because I do feel like once they turn 18, and that's how I was raised, it's time to get the hell out the house. And some people will say, well, what if they're not ready? And, they may need a couple more years. But my question is always the same.
When will they?
Well, yeah, if you say, you ask when they'll be, they say 24, 25, then they can move out. My question is, what are you going to do from 18 to 25 that you can tell them from 0 to 18? What the hell are you going to tell them? Now, they got learning disabilities and da-da-da-da-da. That's not part of that.
Right.
But what the hell are you going to tell them from 18 to 25 that you can tell them 0 to 18?
Right. And what is the, you didn't say they couldn't come back. You just said
and I'm not
they need to get their feet wet. They need to try it out.
And worst case scenario, if they're in a situation where they got to, they can't stay on campus and they had to take school or even school, they got to still stay while you're in school. I'm not tripping on that.
Right.
But we got to be heading in a direction, not you sitting in here doing that. No, man.
And if an obstacle get in the way, you try to help them figure out how to move that obstacle.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I don't want to see, at the end of the day, the world going to be cruel.
Right.
The world gonna be cruel. The world gonna be right. Anytime I can be gone, and that's when my grandfather said that to me when I was 12 or 13. that was the first time I heard that, and it always stuck with me because, like, damn, what you mean you ain't gonna always be here? And that always kind of chills me. Like, okay, I'm gonna be grown one day, and that's why I try to kind of get with my kids. Like, look, man, we doing this to get this path. Christopher graduates in a couple weeks. I know he's frightened. It's new, and I know all my other kids went through the same thing. But at the end of the day, we all got to do it.
Everybody's got to do it.
Yeah, and when Torian did, PJ wasn't that word, but Torian, I was damn scared as hell. Scared as hell because you constantly, well, did I do this? Did I do that? Did I tell him this?
Right?
Yeah, exactly. This you're gonna do this and that. You every parent's gonna be worried. And I thought about that when one of my old platoon sergeants, I seen him at one of my buddy's funerals. This back when T graduated high school. When my boy King had died for cancer, so I went out to Houston to the funeral, and we were just talking about like, yeah, my son, get ready to leave and everything, and I'm, kind of nervous. And he just brought something to my perspective. He said, man, when he met me, I was 17, and I was in Germany. He said, man, you was a couple, you went straight from home to the other side of the world. You not damn scared your mom could have been.
Right.
I never thought about that. I had never thought about
that part. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that I'm always understanding how parents can be kind of reserved with certain things like that. But again, I always say the fear of this grown ass person walking around your damn house. And some people feel comfortable. I'm not trying to justify it. Because some people's like, well, I'm cool with them. I'm cool. They can stay here. That's cool. That's your way.
I'm here than out on the street.
Yeah, that's cool. And again, to your point, we're not talking about out in the street. We're talking about them growing up.
Right. And eventually they have to do that.
Yeah.
Because there ain't nobody be in your house telling you what they not going to do.
Yeah. I'm grown.
Right.
I'm grown in my house. Everything. Yeah, my house, my payroll, on all my bills and stuff like that. But I need to treat you like a man.
Right.
Come on, dog.
You gonna tell me what you ain't gonna do in my house.
No.
Right.
And with going over this topic, one of the first things I think most parents need to do, guys, and we're talking about asking the question, parents, is your child ready for life after graduation? I think one of the first things parents need to do as early as possible. And again, this thing will evolve. When I say early, at least 9th grade, but definitely being a little bit more tight with the conversation going into that junior year. It's just having the conversation with kids and what they want to do. And what I mean by what they want to do is you think about going to college, you think about going to military, you think about going to trade school. What are you thinking about doing? Just go getting a job? What do you want to do? Parents, being realistic about your child. You know if you got a little,
who she is.
Yeah, you know if you got a little damn Crayola kid.
Right.
You know if you got a damn rock. Like this joker here ain't got damn test right since pre-K.
Right.
Yeah. Dum.
Right.
They ain't knocking your baby, but at the end of the day, you know what you got.
Right.
So why we gonna sit here and talk about what kind of college we gonna go to? Come on, we ain't able to get your ass in college.
Right.
So let's not worry about that.
Have realistic conversations.
Yeah, exactly realistic conversations in regards to what we're trying to do, and so we can kind of strategize a pathway to get there, and make just be straight up with each other. I have never ever candy coated anything with my children in regards to what I can and can't afford. The discussion has always been the same. Where you think about going? They start naming all this dynamic ass shit. I'm like, look, well, this is what I can afford. Now, you can write essays and do all this kind of stuff to get scholarships and do all these kind of things. Like I told you, you got to tackle some damn people. All this other kind of whatever you got to do. And if you can do that, cool. But if I got to pay for it, this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm not a big proponent in getting the kids student loans that they don't have to. If you got to get it, get it.
Right.
I'm not tripping, but I do feel like the earlier you kind of start on a pathway getting stuff, you can do it. But at the end of the day, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. So that's not a judgment call or whatever about the stuff with the student loans. But if you can try to be ahead of the curve, because there's tons of scholarship monies out there. Because one of the biggest misnomers I think a lot of parents get twisted is, my kids good in school, got good grades and stuff like that. Your grades get you accepted.
Right.
They get you accepted in the school, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to scholarship and free tuition.
Right, right.
I mean, I'm going
other things.
I'm going through this shit now. All my kids had a 3.0. Pick Chris right now, 3.3. We have we got to get this damn be in this one class, and that way he'll qualify for Hope because he have he has a 2.9, we got a 3.0 core.
Okay.
You know, that's basic math, this, that, and that, not including your elective classes. But there's a 3.3 GPA. All my kids pretty smart kids. Shit, ain't nobody throwing no damn money at us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of times people don't look at certain things in regards to their, like, hey, I've heard that so many times. Well, they smart, they'll be able to get something. I don't know about that shit.
Right.
You know, like I say, you know, again, it can get you up, you get accepted, but getting that tuition paid and stuff like that, that's a whole different thing. Now, again, you can get the loans and all that kind of stuff, but that goes back to the ancient argument everybody keeps saying, why we getting all this student loan debt? A lot of that got to do with just not necessarily parents preparing for that, because you know it's a bill that's coming.
Right.
You know?
Maybe not preparing or not able to prepare.
Yeah. That's a big one.
You know, you living check to check, day to day, trying to maintain households, so you might not be able to prepare. But like with my children, I try to get. I started them out. I switched them from public school to military high school. All of them went through it. And I started that process in their freshman year, because they really couldn't go in their freshman. They had to wait till their sophomore year to go. But I started out early.
Gotcha.
And got that scholarship. Got that scholarship to go to the military school. But it was a year process.
But see, even to the point you just said about, just say if you don't have it financially, and I think that's damn the bulk of most people out there. It's not necessarily even have the money. It's more so like, what do we got to do? Do we got to be riding out for these scholarships? Do we got to be getting these essays? Do we need to be going through certain kind of programs or whatever at this grade? Like you said, we know we have to do something in ninth grade to be able to qualify for something in 10th grade. What are we doing? And that's the thing about it. Guys, please, if you guys got any comments or questions about anything, feel free to call 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. But that's one of the things, just, knowing, having that conversation, man. What I was just telling you about my son, like, are you looking to live on campus, off campus? How far away you looking to go? This, that, and that. You being realistic as a parent. How close you need to be with the kids, where they reach and everything. And just having those, I don't know if they're tough, but realistic conversations.
With your child and yourself. Realize to yourself, look, I can't afford this. I need to figure it out. Because I had 2 children going to college at the same time. So I knew that military school would help them on the pathway to get in. Because it's an all-around picture. You get what I'm saying? It's an overall picture on certain things. Grades are good, but grades and, you went to military high school.
Yeah. That's
2 boxes checked. I'm thinking, that's how we thought about it. Okay, you got good grade. Oh, you went to military high school.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the discipline in high school. Oh, you did this while you was in, you know what I'm saying? So
gotta check them too.
Right. And it may not have been a traditional check, but I was thinking to myself, any check that's a positive check is better than no check at all.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So I knew that process. I had children one after the other going to college, so it was going to be a very expensive process. So I knew I needed to get some kind of either grant or scholarship going, and certain grants you have to base the schooling off of certain things.
Yeah.
So I tried to gear it that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna be throwing through it now.
Right.
Hell, in a couple months I'm gonna have 2 in college at the same time. So trust me, I'm gonna be going through it soon enough. But those are things I think a lot of times parents got to be prepared for. That's part of the second part. I think parents need to spend enough time educating themselves on what's out there. Finding what resources out there, what programs are out there. Because one thing to tell the kid, like, look, man, these are the different options of what's going on, and doing a good job of helping the kids. A good example, guys, I would tell you guys, we did a show on, remember a year or 2 ago, lab, with we asked the question, why my child can't get a job at the college. Guys, go and change the lives and look at that video, why my child can't get a job after college. Well, I did a whole breakdown in regards to the reason why I felt a lot of kids can't get a job after college, because I don't think parents do a good enough job of sitting down with their kids and being proactive from high school through college, preparing them for opportunities. And one of the big first things is, whatever they're thinking about going to school for, okay, not necessarily what colleges offer it, but being proactive. Like, if you would get this degree, where are the opportunities at? Are they locally? Are they abroad? Do you got to go international? What is actually the pay?
Right.
How many people are in the field? Do they have like high transition? all that kind of stuff, some kind of research, you know. And I always say try to look it up through maybe 2 or 3 different fields, but just do that front end research with doing that. And then for the point when you okay, these are we're possibly looking at to go to school for, because I always say, guys, it's nothing uncommon to get to school and you take 1 or 2 classes and you're like, this is not what the hell I want to do. And my philosophy has always been, does your kid like that campus? Like anything happen, they meet the girl of their dreams, guy of their dreams, coaches unchanged, mean professor or whatever, because every professor ain't gonna be nice. Let's keep it real. We can fuss at our kids. Oh, you just need to do that work. No, some professors are a-holes.
They are.
And at the end of the day, you just need, well, we go back to control your controllables. Your kid can only control them coming to class on time, doing their work. If they need to meet with their professors to get, you know, some help or whatever, they can do that. But, you know, some things just be out of their control. But I say that they should always make sure that they're being proactive. You know, you should always be, I'm sorry, as a parent, being proactive, you learning what's available out there to them and letting them know. But again, once you know that, those particular different, having a couple of different degree programs, how about losing my train of thought? Having a couple of different degree programs in mind, just in case they do change it. And then from that point, from freshman year, definitely, they start really solidly networking.
Right.
Networking and interning. Networking and interning.
Especially if they know some people at the school they want to go to.
There you go.
That alumni thing.
There you go. But even when you get into the school, that's the reason why a lot of times you got so many people walk. They may do it. They may wait till their senior year and do an internship, and the folks really couldn't get a good feel for them and everything. Y'all rushing because you're on the tail end. But I think you need to be trying to intern to get some kind of experience starting from your freshman year, if possible.
Think so, yeah.
It don't have to be nothing in depth, but just something where you out there getting your feet wet. But I had my older son, you know, interning with my best friend down in Fulton County from, you know, since his sophomore year.
Right.
Every year, you know, and he was getting the same work with his degree he was in and stuff, getting experience. But you have to do that. And the reason why I say that is because far too often too many people cross that stage. And, you know, no plan. Clue. No plan, right. No connections, no nothing.
Now they gonna say, yeah, I'm doing this, but in reality, they don't have that. They don't have that. That's what they want to do. They don't have solidified.
Yeah, and plus they got their assumptions. Yeah, because I got a degree, I'm gonna be able to get the job. But you come to the table with no experience of this, that, and that. So again, it's kind of like when you looking for employment, even as a seasoned adult, you got to come to, you know, you selling yourself for them to get an opportunity to get a job.
So, I mean, a lot of these companies are hiring experience before they hire a degree.
Absolutely.
A lot of them hire experience before they hire a degree.
And you come to the
look
table.
Good, but experience looks better.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, experience shows them that you already have some kind of track record of doing certain things. And if you got both, then we can start talking about certain kinds of money. But those are things I think a lot of times most children are not prepared for. You know?
Right.
So that's why I think parents got to be very, very, very aggressive with, you know, make sure they're equipped with just learning fees and costs and everything like that. You know, like, you know, I'm in a I won't say funky, but unique situation, being divorced and trying to co-parent, and I'm getting information, and if we ain't on the same page and getting stuff out like that, now it's reactionary. Well, I ain't know this, I ain't know that, and that's a funky damn spot, man. Right. Because again, now it's like,
I didn't know as a parent.
How much is that gonna pay? How many we gotta do this, that, and that? So I'm in a real funky spot, and I know there's a lot of parents out there doing it by themselves. So you don't want to find out what certain things gonna cost a couple months out. You know, you want to kind of have an idea about what's going on or what you got to come out your pocket as far back as possible.
Right, early as possible.
Exactly.
Early as possible.
Being able to plan is essential. And if you're not able to plan, you can put yourself in a real funky spot. And none of us want to do that. None of us want to do that. And I don't want none of you guys to do it for yourselves either. So the earliest possible you can do it, you know, I think it would behoove you to do that. And with that, I was just thinking about, you know, with my second son, PJ. Now Torian got a full ride. PJ got a full ride scholarship, but it was a little different. Like I said, I went in with Torian. Like I said, I focused so much on getting him to school, but I wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared for school.
Okay.
You know, just
you got him there.
Yeah, college life.
Right.
You know, PJ a little different. He got a full ride, but he went military, and you know, 'cause I was a whole lot uh, more seasoned with the process. PJ a little different. Now I kind of went into PJ's senior year, kind of like, okay, look, we see what we can qualify for track or academic. Now I'm gonna say this too, and I want to share this with parents. I was in the midst of a damn divorce. I was in the midst of a divorce with PJ. The reason why I bring that up is because it's not uncommon for parents to have challenges like that, going through sicknesses and health challenges, divorce, layoffs from your job, all that kind of stuff, while you're in the process of doing that. So again, like
COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID-19. Hell, I've gone through all that shit.
Right.
So, you know, I'm just saying that because, you know, like, you know, you got to kind of mentally prepare yourself to be able to stay focused no matter what's going on. That's why I'm sharing that, because, you know, it ain't always going to be a smooth thing, because you got something called life.
Right.
And that's why I want, you know, people to think about it. Like, so I just want to share that I was going through that. But he got a full ride of the military scholarship. And I will say this, guys, and, you know, and you guys know I was in the military 9 years, and I always recommend, if your kid is not really for sure what they're going to do, a year or two in the Army or the Navy, Marine, whatever, the military is a good thing. You get set up, GI Bill, VA, all that kind of stuff. But if they don't know what they're going to do, I always recommend that, so they're not just sitting at the damn house.
Right.
I mean,
they still get to go, maybe travel a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And from in the maturity wise, because I had a conversation with PJ earlier today, just while I was, you know, getting ready for the show. I said, "Do you think it made?" I said, "You're in school now. You're a year out from graduation. Do you think it was impactful on you going in the military, you know, with everything and stuff?" He said, "Yeah." He said, because he said, "I was always structured." He said, "But time management, I see so many guys, me being in the military, I know how to do," he said, "I know how to do so much in so little time and stay structured." He said, "A lot of kids that come in, even they 2 or 3 years in school, they don't know how to do that."
Okay.
You know, I mentioned earlier with PJ, kind of like my oldest son, that whole getting up late and all that kind of stuff. You go on in basic training and all that kind of stuff first. I knew they were going to get that out of him. So that was one of the things I wasn't, because he was kind of like, "Oh, Dad, I want to do this." I'm like, "No," because this scholarship had two facets. One, you can just go straight there, or you can have to go to basic training, AIT first, which is job training in the military.
Okay.
I wouldn't even, negotiate. Take your ass basic training first.
Okay.
Because he had to get that foundation, getting up this, that, and that. He said he still have his shortcomings now.
Okay.
But I knew we had to get that fixed.
That structure.
Yeah, because even you late on some things now, he was late on all things before.
Right.
So we had to get that fixed.
Okay.
And so once he did that, man, sky been the limit, man. And he's done pretty good, decent in school. He done pretty decent in school. PJ doing pretty good. I think he made honor roll through at GMC when he was at Georgia Military. He should probably make honor roll this first year at Georgia Southern.
Okay.
So PJ been pretty good, but he did say that he felt that was the military will helped him a lot with that.
Just getting up, like
you said, just getting up structure.
He wouldn't get up.
Right. Exactly. But I did consciously do a lot of conversing with him on decision making, things doing your own, this, that, and that. I made a conscious effort them last 2 years to kind of get him prepared for a lot more. I gave him a lot more room to make mistakes than I did with touring.
Okay.
And everything like that. So I was very conscious. And that's the thing about it, guys. We're gonna make mistakes with our kids, and we're gonna learn from it. And all our kids are different. Some you can talk to cool, some you gotta yell at, some you gotta just look at funny. But you know your child. And the way it's going to reach, just like if you're in any kind of supervisor position, whatever, it's going to be a different way you got to reach different people.
What happens when you got the structure going? Y'all come up with a structure, a plan, everything's, you got it in place, and then the child in the middle of the plan says, "I don't want to do none of that." Like, I don't want to do none of that.
Anything can happen. You don't know. You just don't know.
You're bucking the system now. Like, the system is not the system no more.
That happens. It happens a lot with that. My oldest son, I was we had a plan together. He didn't get drafted, and we had a plan together what we were going to try to do with over a certain period of time. Say, hey man, we're going to do this workout for a couple teams. If it don't work, we can try to go get look at job opportunities. And that was probably like over a 4-month period.
Right.
He did the shit about a month, decided now I want to go pro.
Okay.
I totally believe then, and I believe now, you quit too early. You know, I mean, just keep it real.
You didn't get the conditioning going. You didn't get the...
It wasn't conditioning. It's just you had to, you was going to have this kind of path to get the way you want. And because you had that kind of path, you just said no.
Yeah, it was a little bit steeper incline.
Hey, like I always say, let doors in life get closed on you. Don't you close the doors. Now, what he did for a couple months, gave it a good effort, cool.
Right.
But to that point, like, I'm sitting here like, man, we just did all this stuff. You just going to stop?
Right.
That's how he got to live with.
Okay.
And I know he lives, and I know it's something, whatever,
Right.
that choose at him. But that's possible. But as a parent, you got to be real. That's a great question, Leia. As a parent, you got to be realistic of how much you're going to get strung out with stuff. I'm not a big proponent on, depending on what age they are, just like, yeah, I let them make that decision. Do a 10 and 12-year-old know they don't want to do stuff, they don't want to go to practice or whatever. I think a lot of kids don't want to go practice, but they want to play in the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
They want to play in the game, but they don't want to practice.
Right.
And so you sit there like, nah, well, they say they ain't want to do that. Most of the time, it's not the kid being lazy, the parent being lazy.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's a thin line. Well, you know, you hear sometimes people say, well, parent, overparent, and you know, they made the kids do this and they made the kids do that. I mean, that's give or take.
You hear where the parents living their life through the child. That kind of thing.
He
wanted to go pro, and now he pushing his son so hard to go pro. You know what I'm saying? It looks, you know, almost abusive.
You have exceptions to the rule where a person can be successful without any kind of parental pushings and things like that. But at the end of the day, look at damn Venus and Serena.
Right.
Look at Tiger Woods.
Right.
And look at all these. There's a lot of other kids just even from an athletic standpoint. They had parents that were pushing them, supporting them, and everything like that. And they was able to develop because they got tough love, because they got hard structure and things like that. I think, but that doesn't mean the child ain't gonna turn around and just make a decision that can go off course with it. So you don't know. And it's that. And I'm a big proponent of. I love my children, but I love Poochie a lot more. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna give you all the tools. My kids will finish this sentence every time. Follow the what? Follow the blueprint.
Right.
They'll say blueprint every time. Because I'm going to give you the blueprint.
Right.
Now, the blueprint can adjust between you, and you. But at the end of the day, if you follow the blueprint, everything will work out. When you do what you want to do, that's what happens.
Well, let me ask you a question. They follow the blueprint and it still failed. Then what? Then it's like, at least you tried, right?
I thought you followed the blueprint and failed. Because at the end of the blueprint going to lead you to a path where we're going to have something going on. Because at the end of the day, the blueprint is not based on success.
Okay.
The blueprint is more of a roadmap to where we want to be.
Okay, to productivity.
Well, productivity or even just a destination.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, you can't really... Success is self-determined.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, if we're trying to get to a certain point, whatever, you know what I'm saying, finish this or get this particular... We can do that. Like say, hey, I want to do this, I eventually want to work here, get in this field and stuff like that. We can do that. Now, we can't guarantee... We have no control of if you're going to be able to sell 1 million of these, you're going to be the top guy on Wall Street, this, that, and then you're going to do all these stuff in sport. We can't... But we can actually... You know, if we do these steps, we can get this done.
Right.
We don't know if we can get to the biggest school in football, but we probably do this and get to some school.
Right.
We, you know, if we take care of these particular things, we can get to school. We don't necessarily mean we're going to get to the top school, but we can get in school. You see what I'm saying? The blueprint is still the blueprint. The destination, you know what I'm saying? The destination.
Depending on how hard you work at that school, they might come see you anyway.
Yeah, they might see, and you got to be realistic who the hell you are, too.
Right.
You just might not be that talented of a person. But I'm just saying.
That's true.
Destination is still destination.
Right.
We can't, the outcome, we can't necessarily, you know, control the outcome. Because the outcome usually have other factors we can't control. But where we want to get to, that pretty much, we have a lot of control of that.
Do you think that parents blind themselves with trying to give the blueprint or trying to give making their child prepare for life after graduation by thinking always they got to be successful? Like their image of success is, you know what I'm saying, is cars, houses, whatever it may be, instead of just being a productive adult, making decent money, living on their own, and not having any troubles.
I don't know, Lab, and the reason why I say I don't know, I really don't know what the hell be going on in a lot of people's houses.
Right.
But what I will say is that I think a lot of times parents tell their kids what they know.
Mm-hmm.
And when, what the tough part about that is they know what they know, and they'll tell you about certain places they ain't been based off what they know or think, instead of trying to get the right person or the right information to their child. You see, that makes sense.
I'm just thinking like when you're a child, you say, "Mom, I'm gonna buy you a house when I get old." You know what I'm saying? You think of little stuff like that when kids might say, and then the parents think success is not necessarily, $89,000 a year job. Success is $2-3 million a year, big house, big cars, and they get blinded by that aspect of life with their child, thinking, he gonna be super successful because he plays football great, he has a 3.8 GPA, he plays with all his little science kits I get him for Christmas, so he making stuff, so he gonna be a scientist. All these things that they may see their child as, because we always see our child better than what they might be. You know what I'm saying? That's just what parents do.
Yeah.
And then when that's not necessarily going the way that they see it, they get discouraged and maybe not be as, I don't want to say supportive, but just not
ain't motivated
anymore.
Well, to that point again, like a lot of times, if you done been down a certain path, you ain't gonna be saying certain things. So again, they go back to what I was saying. A lot of times, people can say, okay, because he's smart, he can get in these particular schools. But if you know you've been in school or you had to went through there with another child, or you go back to what I said before, the good grades will get you accepted.
Right.
But ain't necessarily gonna be the tuition. But so if you sit there and say because they getting these good grades, they're gonna be able to do that. I mean, you sit there and say my kids scoring a lot of touchdowns at the park at school, they're gonna be pro. But then you start thinking about what is the number, like 2,000 or 3,000 guys get a job in the pros, and you think about all the millions. I always say, if you think about the amount of kids in the city of Jonesboro play football, then all the boys in Clayton County, then the state of Georgia, and then the whole damn United States, millions, going for 2,000 jobs,
2,000 positions.
Come on now,
that
the numbers gonna work against you, So at the end of the day, like when you start thinking from a mathematical standpoint, but you got more opportunities to be executives and these other things for certain teams or working at different other organizations and stuff. But I think because people don't know, their whole perception on how to get to that result, it just ain't them. The thing about it, what I always talk about, Lab, intentional ignorance. You know you don't damn know, but you understand once you become informed, then you're accountable. And I don't think a lot of times parents want to go take that step to go get informed, because once they know, now they can get blamed for it. But at the end of the day, I don't like being out the loop. I don't like knowing what's going on. I can hang with everything falling on Poochie's shoulders, but a lot of times people don't want that smoke on them.
Okay.
They don't want that to say, well, because it's easy to say, well, man, I ain't know all that, man. Yeah, but why didn't you look? Why didn't you ask? And some people generally might not, whatever, but no ask,
they might not know where to look,
But I think a lot of times people don't know where to look, but I do think a lot of times people know who to go ask. Especially, let me talk to the counselor. Let me talk to the teacher. This is what I'm do. Can you help me out? And I say that only because when I go to these different sessions the school may have for SAT prep, ACT prep, resume writing, and all that shit, the damn room empty.
Yeah, they have you prep and they have you count. They have your tutoring for the essay. It's empty. They start that in freshman year.
It's empty.
Right.
It's empty. So that's what I'm saying. Then we start getting down to this part, we're at the end. Now everybody trying to condense what you done did in years, into a couple months.
I mean, even like when my kids were in high school, they were given free SAT prep over here at the West Georgia College right here over in Douglasville. West Georgia Tech is the camps right here. Free every Saturday. Free.
Yeah.
I used to take my children up there every Saturday. Free. Just go on in the class and I sit back there and do a little bit too, just to kind of sharpen my pencil. But it was free. So, but those are things you have to look for. Those are things in them little local newspapers that you don't look at. Them little guys that they give you for your area that you don't look at. It's free. And why is it free? Because they're getting a grant for it.
But even with that said, that's why I said you can go to your school and your counselors, teachers, they can refer you to a lot of these places. Because, because those programs do what? They reach out to the school to get information to their students.
That's true.
But that's why I was saying, like, just being proactive with learning. But because you're busy now, but you're busy, you ain't got time for that. But now we done got it on the crunch time. And what happened with crunch times with parents is that some of the options we thought we were going to have are not there. Now we start looking at this and looking at this, looking at this. And those options are gone now. Because, again, those were the ones that are easy to get. The ones probably hardest to get, which are probably usually the most attractive. Those just ain't attainable.
Right.
A small percentage you're going to be able to get that. And I think that's what hurts a lot of time with parents. But, again, a last thing I do want to just encourage parents is to get in, like, support groups. Talk to people. I'm going to say this, dog, and I mean this, and this shit been a damn head scratcher for years with me. When my oldest son committed to Vanderbilt his junior year, we probably had about, on that team in Jonesboro, maybe about 7, 8 kids could have went to school. Shit, none of them damn parents came to me like, just, hey man, what y'all do to be done with school so whatever.
Right.
Only one kid, outside of my son, like, he's still playing in the NFL right now.
Okay.
That okay, it didn't matter. Like he just,
whatever.
It did well. He was just you knew then that he was gonna go play pro ball.
Right, because he already had it.
He was just that kind of kid.
Okay.
So it wasn't even about nothing else.
No questions.
Yeah. I coached that kid since he was little. That kid, hey, you knew then. You knew that he was gonna go play pro ball.
Right.
Whatever. I don't give a damn what pro he played. He just that kid. So, but Torian's case, Torian's just a hard worker, good kid, and fell into place. But I say that to say none of the other parents, man, D, what you do? What you do, man? What you do? And this ain't no damn secret. And that when as the months shrunk down their graduations, people just like the stuff that I feel like you probably should have had conversation with, they end up falling down. Now you got to find these pressure and stretch for this and go to that and everything. And again, like I say, stuff we have been doing over 4 years, trying to condense it in that part. But nobody asked me. And I will say the secret, but the formula for my success has always been people that are in position that I wanted to be in, I went to go ask them. It doesn't mean I always got the information. Sometimes I got blowed off. Sometimes I got whatever, this, that, and that. But at the end of the day, you don't... there's no fee for asking.
Right, you don't know unless you ask.
Exactly.
Right.
And parents, I think, really should try to network and get with other parents that are going through similar situations. Look at people that in those situations. Because that was one thing I used to always ask a lot of OGs, like, man, how you get your son to school? What you do right? What you do wrong? If you go back in time, what would you change? What would you do different? I asked that stuff to every parent that I ran across that had a kid playing college football.
Okay.
And they were just giving a different, man, we want to do this. We want to waste the time going to this school. And they didn't want us to this, that, and that. Man, I probably would have made sure I got this, that, and I got that information. And I would make sure I had certain things. Some stuff wouldn't be applicable to me. Some I go back and say, well, look, man, I made this adjustment so that don't happen. But parents really need to kind of make sure they getting doing that. Go to these damn workshops. Go to these seminars. Talk, just ask questions. Ask the stupid question that you just think that everybody in the room know. And I will tell you, most of the people in the room don't know
it.
You know what I'm saying? And so just go there, parents. And those things got to happen.
Slick says that parents don't get involved in their children's lives anymore as much.
Well, I agree with that. And the issue still come up with that. You're not involved with it, but you still be stuck having to fix the shit.
Right.
So at the end of the day, if I'm, if I choose to deal with the problem now or later, the problem's still there.
The problem's still the problem.
Exactly. It ain't went no way. So that's why I be sitting there just being a proponent of it. Like, hey man, we still gotta take care of this. You know what I mean? And so that's why I think a lot of times parents want to just go back to that one. What I was just thinking about with right now, what I'm going through right now with Chris, that's my son graduating in a couple of weeks. Chris is a little different. Chris is, we're going to get scholarship money, but this first time I know I'm going to have to pay some tuition.
Okay.
And this has been a little different.
Okay.
And Chris is more kind of like what a question you asked earlier. Gave him the blueprint. And hey man, apply for these scholarships, this, that, and that. And he been doing that shit at his leisure. So a lot of the shit he was like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. And as time has went on, I want to go here, I want to go there. Well, shit, you ain't writing under your essays.
Right.
You ain't doing this, that, and that. I'm listening to you. Because what you saying and what you doing is two different things.
Right.
And I ain't entertaining this. Excuse me, I don't entertain that talking. And then, you have people come around, well, he may want to do this, he may want to do that. Well, how you going to do it? Well, shut the hell up then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. If you don't have the secret,
come on, man.
Tell me how it's going to happen.
Hey, tell me. I want to know, Merlin the Magician. Shit, I want to know.
You somebody say, well, how you going to do that?
Yeah, well, come on now. Come on.
You know your child if you don't know nothing else.
You know your child, but at the end of the day, you still know the path. Like I said, the blueprint's still the blueprint.
Right.
The blueprint's still the damn blueprint. If this is the destination you want to get to, this is what you got to do. Right? This is my blueprint, and if you have something different, this is what you're going to do to get the way you want to go. If you don't have it, what the hell are we talking about?
Why we even discussing it?
Exactly. So we're at that point now with him. He may be qualified for Hope. Like we waiting on one class. If not, I'm prepared.
Right.
To do it. But I will say this: he's probably the most comfortable of my children that I've been with leaving. He's probably the most shyest and reserved, but just take care of his stuff.
Right.
Good. He probably good with that. He feel good with that. Now, with that said, with picking Clayton State, it's not too far, whatever this, that, and that, because I wouldn't necessarily been more comfortable with him going somewhere out of town because of his shyness.
Okay.
We're doing that and stuff like asking for stuff, this, that, and that, and be able to help him. We're doing certain things going back with knowing your child. We're doing certain stuff. But I want, you're going to be on campus, get the hell away from me, go out there and go figure stuff out with doing that. But I'm really comfortable with that. And that's one of the things. My baby boy may be a whole different wheelhouse in regards to opportunities, things like that. But I definitely, even with Christopher, man, I was early. Hey, dog, do this, do that, do that. Blow it off. Brother, did you write this essay? Oh, yeah, I forgot. And the whole damn time your ass up there doing all this other stuff,
right?
It wasn't happening. So that's why you say just on that pathway. Because I know you want to go to school, but at the end of the day, you try to sit here and have these conversations. And this has been kind of unique with me personally, because it's the first one of my children. Like at one point, I told T was married, PJ kind of going through the divorce. This has been the first time where I'm damn totally
concentrate.
Because I used to could be like, I used to could like tell my ex-wife, hey, can you go do this? Can you do that? And even though she might, she'll get done.
Right.
Like now, this is the first time me doing all this shit. You know what I'm saying? By myself.
Right.
And so that's been tiresome. Yeah, it's different. And even like again, my thing, and I know parents, so people go through this. If one person not interested, I ain't say they don't care, but if they're not interested, it's like you constantly got to go, hey man, we got to do this, we got to do that, and because they're not trying to be proactive or even involved in the situation, it's like every time you talk to them, you dropping something on them. Shit, only thing you got to do is just know what the hell going on. It won't be that way, and so that's why I want to say with parents, man, look, everybody's gonna have a different situation. It's not always gonna be a smooth thing for parents to have everything mapped out in place and stuff like that.
It's possible to have everything like there's always gonna be hiccups.
Absolutely.
There's always gonna be something, but you just got. I guess what we trying to say, what you're trying to say is you just gotta be prepared for enough. All right, because there's always gonna be hiccups. Like you just said, with just your older son, he wasn't necessarily the get up and get out of class type, go to class, but you knew that, but that was a hiccup.
First two were like that.
Right.
First two were like that, we're doing it. And when you get there, you don't know because to that point, he had in the time he was at Vanderbilt, he had 5 different position coaches that had 5 different philosophies. They had 5 different things they looked at and liked. So at the end of you go here with this guy, oh man, we got a good rapport, we feel good together. His ass gone in the year. Then you get somebody else, they don't like you, now you got to learn their way. They gone. Then another guy come in, oh y'all cool, you feeling him. Then he leaves. Then another person, and everybody got different ways.
Right.
So all this stuff changes. That's why some of the proponent in, do you love the place? Is your kid cool to play? That was one of the biggest things I asked Chris when we was on the Clayton State campus. I said, man, do you like it here?
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, do you like it here? Like we can the schools and all that other kind of shit, but do you like here? That was my thing. Do you like it here? You know, because again, you sit there, you got that girl in class. Oh, you want to be philosophy? I want to change. You know, all that things can happen. Because your kids are not gonna start doing dumb stuff because they got out your house. So that was my big thing. Now, again, this work for me, and I ain't trying to say this is the only way. There are always different pathways to go about it. But the biggest thing I just want to leave with parents is try your best to be as proactive as possible. To be as proactive as possible, doing as much research on the front end. Because again, I see right now it's an exciting time what a lot of parents are going through in regards to the proms, the graduations, getting them cars and all this other kind of stuff and everything. And it's cool. Your baby work hard. You want to celebrate and things like that. But we finna go to a whole nother role of life. And guys, remember, when they go to school, them schools can't talk to y'all parents.
They got to talk to them.
Yeah, they got to talk to them.
They adult now.
Exactly.
Right.
It's a whole different damn world. But you got to pay the bill.
Right.
So we got to sit here and, you know, just like I said, man, you be as mentally prepared as possible for what the hell is coming on, you know. Let me see if make sure I ain't missing nothing. That's one of the biggest things, guys. You got to make sure that you prepare for that. Because it's nothing uncommon. I don't want no parent to beat themselves up. It's nothing uncommon to be kind of nervous. Damn, did I do this, that, and that? Have things together. It's not uncommon with that. But it is something going to be wrong with you not trying to get yourself informed.
Well, is it more prepare to kind of have a good blueprint so when them hiccups do come, it's not a major? Because you got so many other things that you know already smoothed over.
Well, have you a good blueprint, keep yourself informed, and also have things in place just in case things don't go right. You know, just have things in place. Who I need to contact, this don't go right. You know, those kind of things with that. Because things can happen, you just like, damn, I wasn't ready for that. You know, and like I said, that's why I was talking about me going through the divorce. I mean, you can go through that now, you getting sick. Now you done lost your job. Now you got to take care of a parent. All this kind of stuff. You got some shit called life that can have while you're in the process of getting your kid in school. That happens, right? You know, your car done went out. But you normally see your baby, you know, $100 every couple weeks for them, whatever. I got to get a car at the shop. You know, and how we going to do that? That stuff happens. That's life stuff. And I think it's just trying to be prepared for those things, but those little hiccups happen, and now you don't plan for that.
Right.
So that, you know, it's one of them things. But again, guys, be open to, you know, having an open conversation, knowing your kid, what you're trying to do and stuff like that. If they go the tech school route, military, whatever, and plan on what be the best pathway to get them there. Because I'm telling you guys, that shit get a whole lot tougher to have a conversation with an 18, 19, 20-year-old about what they want to do with their life, and because you got tension. Because they sitting there, they done got a job at the warehouse, and they making decent money, and you like, damn, I don't see this shit going nowhere, because, you know, we're not in the factory or the plant days no more.
Right.
You do have them places, but it ain't like how it was with our parents, that you can work at the plant 20-something years and progress without any additional credentials or anything like that, and you can retire from it.
Right.
Like, that shit ain't there no more.
Yeah, that ain't the same process no more.
Yeah, it ain't there no more. So you know, they may be fortunate to get on with a certain, from a public service standpoint, become a police officer, become a fireman, they can do that. But again, that's not a majority. Right? So at the end of the day, I think that's why parents need to have these tough conversations with their children to be proactive about certain things, about certain pathways that you want to go, and see, you know, what will be the best way to navigate to get that, okay? So with that said, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm going to open the floor up. Anybody got any questions or anything? Anybody comments or anything like that?
Not yet.
I'm kind of surprised nobody want to call in. Cause I know people have these challenges.
Everybody celebrating their kids graduating tomorrow.
Everybody get ready for Cinco de Mayo.
Right. Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, so get prepared.
Look undefeated.
You can't beat liquor.
Look undefeated. Ain't a damn thing I can say to beat a damn shot of liquor. Ain't a damn thing.
Right.
You know, that I can just drop on anybody.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody got anything.
Nobody got anything.
No.
Well, listen, man. I hope the information I shared and we discussed this evening will be impactful and help you guys in a great way. I'll be back with Mr. Short Dollar next week. Make sure you go to both YouTube channels. Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, and also Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, regardless of what platform you're looking at. I've had a great time talking with you guys tonight. Again, we have another show for the end of the month, but definitely best of luck to your babies. I want you guys to make sure you're celebrating as well with everything. If they're coming out of high school, they're coming out of college. You guys enjoy this time. You know, it comes and goes real quick. But again, prepare for everything, okay? Love you guys. Be safe. Appreciate you tuning in. I'll talk with you soon.